And now, the general weather around Alaska.
There's a wind chill advisory out here for the western Arctic coast from Point Lay to Cape Lisburne and Point Hope and those areas for wind chills to 50 to 55 degrees below zero with those gusty northeast winds continuing. Satellite imagery showing a front here pushing up into the eastern Aleutians, the Alaska Peninsula, bringing some gusty winds and precipitation with it there, and then a lot of cloudiness extending back out to the west. Clouds here over the western interior, the weak system here over the northern Gulf of Alaska. The northeastern Bering Sea here, and then in the Gulf of Alaska. Got another system here spinning. That's pushed a front in over the Panhandle earlier, and then some more precipitation in the form mostly of snow here into the central and northern southeast coast and tapering off down toward Dixon Entrance a little bit. This front elongates eastward, starting to spread some clouds up the southern Kodiak Island. Variably cloudy skies here across southern Alaska, and then thicker clouds up over the interior there. And then cold temperatures up over the north slope and the Arctic coast with mostly clear skies in most areas up there. And rolling this through again, you can see most of the energy with this system pushing off to the east here. And on the chart, you can see the low center here over the northeast Gulf of Alaska, and another front here making landfall along the coastline there. Break behind that to the north here, areas of light snow with this low center actually at the surface here over the southwest interior areas with light snow and snow showers occurring and eastward there into the central interior and northern Susitna Valley. A few snow showers over the Kenai Peninsula, but nothing too significant. Clear and cold temperatures up there over the north slope to the Arctic coast, staying anywhere from 15 to 30 below zero into the afternoon here. Then had that wind on the western Arctic coast, and you have the wind chills down to 45 to 55 below zero. Low center here starting to kick the winds up back over the central Aleutians there with diminishing shower activity. For tonight, that low tracks up the Alaska Peninsula, and another system develops here on that front and moves well to the south of even the Gulf of Alaska here. So with this remnants of the low over the, actually let me back it up here. This system weakens into a trough. This one moves up to the northeast and weakens. So we're still left with cloudy skies and snow showers or light snow, Yukon, Kuskokwim Delta coast into Bristol Bay down to the Alaska Peninsula. Starting to taper off there around Unalaska and then dry for the remainder of the Aleutians. Out to the west, you can see on the edge of the chart there, next system ready to move in. And weaker low off the Panhandle, off the coast of the Panhandle, that front hanging up right along the coastline. That'll keep periods of snow going over the southeast coast through tonight with several more inches falling. Weak trough here. South central Alaska, light snow from the White Mountains down maybe into the Susitna Valley, mostly along the mountainous terrain of the Alaska Range here, and then down into southern Cook Inlet and the southern Kenai Peninsula area, and Kodiak Island kind of in between these two features here, as well as the Kuskokwim Valley. So mostly cloudy skies here up in toward the lower Yukon River area. And for Thursday, tomorrow, another system. This next system here begins to increase the wind and precipitation on the south coast of the Panhandle, probably mostly in the form of rain at the lower elevations. Temperatures rise in some cases into lower to mid 40s, and a mixture of precipitation up to the north Gulf Coast. Chance of rain and snow, or mostly snow here for Prince William Sound, and that would be light snow down along the Kenai Peninsula in toward Kodiak Island. Dry over the interior areas, maybe some light snow there up and just near the Eagle area, and to the west, possibly in toward Fort Yukon, Chokyitzig. But again, very light amounts of that does occur at all. High pressure, light winds, cold temperatures in over the north slope, and light northeast winds, maybe 15 to 20 miles an hour. Some higher gusts possible. Cape Lisburne, Cape Romanzoff. Still be pretty breezy there for Cape Lisburne as well with continued northeast winds, but the wind advisories may end, maybe not. A break here over the Bering Sea ahead of this next very strong system that will push storm and gale force winds with rain and snow into the western Aleutians, and that will gradually edge eastward toward Adak during the afternoon tomorrow. And then on Friday, that front weakens and elongates out as it runs into this kind of Arctic outbreaking coming down from the northeast now, this north to northeast flow here, keeping that front from swinging on up into the Bering Sea as cold air stays locked in over the northern Bering Sea there. Clear skies, cold temperatures here over the western interior. Pick a few more clouds up here into the central part of the state, and then a chance of snow over the eastern interior areas. Light snow, dry for the north slope and the Arctic coast, continued well below zero for the temperatures. And storm force winds as this 958 millibar low moves to just north of Shimianatu. Look for storm force winds there with gales into Kiska and Mchitka Island. Lighter winds though for Adak and Atka. And another storm system with more rain and snow in for the Panhandle. And for the lows tonight down that way, lower 30s in the north, mid to upper 30s down to the south, right around zero in the Copper River Basin, teens to mid 20s for south central Alaska. And either side of zero through the central interior and the Tanana Valley, and anywhere from 5 to 10 below for the Kobuk Valley, 10 to 15 below in the Yukon Flats, and 25 to 45 below for the North Slope out to the Arctic coast, near zero St. Lawrence Island, lower 20s in the Pribilofs, lower 30s for the Aleutians. And for the highs tomorrow, mid to upper 30s for the Aleutians, upper 20s the Pribilofs, and 5 to 10 St. Lawrence Island. Staying well below zero for the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast, and lower 20s here, or lower to mid 20s for the mid and upper Tanana Valley. Cooler teens back toward Galena, in toward Unalakleet and Nome, looking for a high of 16. And Shishmaref, the other side of the peninsula there, a high closer to 4. Lower to mid 30s here, south central Alaska, except upper 30s, Seward, Homer, Seldovia, Kodiak. 25 to 30 for Bristol Bay, and upper 30s in the northern Panhandle to mid 40s down to the south, followed by lows on Friday morning below zero, a little more prevalent here into the central interior and a little farther to the south. St. Lawrence Island 5 to 10 below, and temperatures 0 to 5 for the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta for the lows, and in the teens for Bristol Bay, and in the teens here for south central Alaska as well. Right around zero for the Copper River Basin, lower 30s, lower to mid 30s over the northern Panhandle to mid to upper 30s to the south, 20s for the Alaska Peninsula. Highs for Friday afternoon, 15 to 30 below for the highs up there over the North Slope and Arctic coast. In the teens for the central interior, single numbers back out toward the west near zero St. Lawrence Island. Highs in the lower 30s for south central Alaska, maybe 35 for Homer and Kodiak, Seward, Valdez. Mid to upper 30s in the northern Panhandle, mid 40s down toward the south.